Yo, 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 no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all Bears all the time, in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago and the SuperBack.
Yeah.
Shawn Sierra, man. Hey, listen, man. No maniacs ask and they get what the hell they want. So I saw several comments yesterday towards the middle to the end of the show asking for another UDFA show. We need to highlight some of these UDFAs. We need to see the UDFAs. And a couple of people asked me privately, hey, man, you're going to do another UDFA show? I'm like, okay, subscriptions warranted around here. No maniacs ask and they get to the best of our ability what they ask for. And so here you are with a UDFA spotlight. I believe I picked some pretty good ones. Shawn doesn't necessarily agree with that wholeheartedly, but we'll get into the debates about that moving forward. But first, man, hey, let's give some shout outs. And thank you, everybody, for being here today, man. You could be anywhere in the world doing all kinds of things on these nice days, but you're here and here with us right now, so we appreciate you. But let's give out some quick pleasantries before we get cutting, Shawn.
Sports owners and maniacs.
No Bishop today. He's out on some personal stuff.
Unite.
That's wild.
You read the whole thing, though, man.
Thanks for tuning in. Listen, make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube channel, all right, along with the Nomad Network YouTube channel. I'm excited, man. Good workout this morning at 5 a.m. Then good show earlier. If you missed it, make sure you go back and check that out. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube page. Good one. I have my guy Herb Howard on talking Bears.
Hey, man, tell Herb quit curving me now, man, if I come find him now.
Okay. And then I'm ready to talk Bears, some more Bears. I was able to get some videos, some filming on some of these UDFAs you sent me, and ready to discuss my thoughts on some of these young men. So ready to roll. It's TGI Mickey Ficky F, baby. Kedz in the building.
Kedz in the building, and so are all the No Maniacs. Hope you guys are doing good on a sunny Friday in Canada. Just texted my son to go get me some mix for some drinks later on, so we'll get this thing, keep this thing short and sweet today, right? I'm just playing around. In any event, give a little bit of love to y'all. It's Crimson's in the building. Patty Laura's here with us. Smitty, Cornelius Smalls. Which Canadian did I leave off? Cornelius Smalls. Just throwing that back at you. Let me know in the chat. FFG Styles with us today. Lee Bruin, Mr. Mayhem Jr., Dante Purifies out there with us today too. She Plank, we got She Plank and King Booker World. Man, it's a packed house. We got Brad Holmes. No love for Brad Holmes. No love. Trapper Keep is also with us too. In any event, over to my guy, the Prospector. What do you got to say, Brian?
I'm going to shave this weekend. That's what shave, dye my hair. I don't know. Go on some kind of diet. Change my life.
Yeah. C Sharp. Well,
you almost played that too long. Anyway, always great to see you, No Maniacs, and most of the people on the panel. I'm going to try my best to replace Bishop for the day. Hope he's doing well. Hey, let's have fun, gang. Even if it's at my expense.
And so one of my favorite No Maniacs, Cornelius Squalls, man. Shout out to Cornelius. One of the ones that stuck out to me asking for the UDFAs. Several people said it, but he's the one that really sticks out to me. One of my favorites. Cornelius is here all the time, man, always supporting us in whatever we do, man. So a shout out to Cornelius for being a great supporter to the channels, man. And we had that conversation about all those UDFAs. Say what now, kids?
I was just saying now I know what Cornelius was talking about. So he's talking about Theo Benedict and why we left him off the show. I'm going to blame Nomad wholeheartedly for that. So it's all Nomad's fault.
Hey, man, we've only done, what have we done so far? 8 UDFAs so far. And we got like, I don't know how many of them, man. It's a nice long list of them. You can only get so many in the show when you're doing an hour show. So we'll try to get around to all those guys. I've done a little bit of stuff on Benedict, and he's going to be worth talking about when the time is right. We just fit in like 3 to 4 guys at a time and save the other ones for another show, but hopefully we'll get around to him. and get some conversation going on about him. But let's get some NFL news going on first, right quick, Sean. DJ Shark, one of the receivers that could have been, I don't know how everybody feels about our receiving core and our receiver room. I feel pretty good about it at this point. But DJ Shark was a name that was out there and available. He went to, let me double check, agrees to a 1-year deal with the Chargers, 1 year, $5 million. Man, what do you say to that?
They need him. Shit. Mike Williams is gone. Keenan Allen's gone. Chargers need some people. So good luck to him. I ain't worried about it. I'm more than happy with the studs. I'm more than happy with the quality of receivers we have here.
Bingo.
I have nothing to say here. See, bye, DJ, and hi, DJ, wherever you're at. I think
Go,
we got
DJ.
the best.
It's your
We
DJ.
got it's your
Go,
DJ. That's my DJ. We got the best DJ of them all. We got DJ Qbert or Cut Creator or Terminator X. I don't care which DJ you're looking for. DJ Moore is the tippy top as far as I'm concerned. So, DJ Shark, enjoy where you're headed over into LA. I think they definitely needed one more pass catcher, but I think we're square where we're at. Brian, what do you think?
I'm more than good with our wide receiving core. That's the least of my worries. Good luck, young man, out in LA.
Man, I think they got him on a good deal, 1 year, $5 million, which is good for them.
Ooh.
They let the market. They let the market come to them. They were in need for receiver help, no question about it. Lost their top two receivers in free agency and one in a trade to us. And so apparently, they definitely needed to get someone, a veteran in there. And I think they got a good one in Shark. It's just going to be interesting to see how they put that team together in front of Jim Harbaugh, man. I just like to see how he develops. I mean, what's his plan, more or less is what I'm thinking about. And Shark is one of those possession guys, big receiver that can block too. So he fits in with what I think they have in mind, But here's another name that just went to Miami, and that is what is his name? Odell Beckham. You know that guy? Heard of him?
Heard of him before, yes.
So he went to the Dolphins today for 1 year, $8.2 million, and it looks like the rich just got a little bit richer over there in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? He's well past his prime. I don't think he's much of a threat. I don't find him dangerous anymore at all. I mean, I'm sure he can come up with a big catch or two, but you know what? Good luck to him. As long he's able to get another check, a nice size check. More power to you. But I'm not worried. I'm not. It doesn't move the needle for me. Again, I'm just happy for my man. Reason that my roommate from college is good friends with him. So, from his days in New York. So I just, congratulations, $8 million. Hope you make the team, get that $8 million. But he's way past his prime. I don't think he has a lot for a lot of moves.
Well, first thing to say, I think Baltimore could have used a return, from him. I'm not so sure how much he really is going to bring elsewhere. I think that does leave a bit of a hole in their wide receiver core, which I don't feel is anywhere near as disgusting as it could be. That being said, a bit of an embarrassment of riches over in Miami by way of wide receiver. They just let go of a certain Mr. Chase Claypool, put him on the market, and brought in Odell Beckham to replace him. I think that's a great move. One guy was doing absolutely nothing. We'll see how much of nothing Odell Beckham does. That just goes to show how much I love the Miami Dolphins. In any event, Brian, what do you think, bro?
5 years ago, if Odell Beckham would have went to Miami Dolphins, what they have now,
Big deal.
Yeah, that'd been tremendous. Now, he's maybe 2 years younger than me. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Hey, so also we're gonna get to the Chase Claypool because I got a whole spiel about that one. Also, Dewan Smoot, a DN. We are in the market. You guys should know by now we are in the market. Team says and reports all say that Ryan Poles is in the market for a veteran DN, and there's another veteran DN being taken off the market in Dewan Smoot. He also goes to Miami, Sean.
Okay. Not a lot of these names are moving the needle for me. They need depth. They need, quality. Not quality, but just you need bodies. And you know what? Let me tell you, I found out the hard way when I tried to get a tryout with the Bears back in '94. Rod Graves was the director of player personnel at the time, and I told him, I said, "Hey, I just got back from playing in Italy. I'd love to, I'd like to try out. I went to Holy Cross, give him my resume, whatever. I said, I'll even fly out. I said, I got my own insurance. I said, I'm working on Wall Street. I got plenty of insurance." And he said, let's see who we get in the draft. And I'm like, okay, fine. That's the year they drafted Rashawn Salam. So I called him back, and he's like, well, we're not as interested because we drafted the Heisman Trophy winner. And I said, yeah, but I said, this dude didn't run between the tackles. I said, even on where he got the 2,000 yards, I said it was an option when Cordell Stewart pitched to him, and he's down the sideline. I said, can this guy run between the tackles? I'm from Chicago. I said, I went to St. Rita. I played on grass. I said, I could, I'm familiar with this. He said, well, let's see what we get in free agency. Then he said, he gave me Darnell Thompson, guy who went to Indiana. And I was like, wait a minute.
That's Anthony Thompson.
No, it's Anthony Thompson. No, I can't remember the dude. He went to Indiana, but he had played with Green Bay. And I'm like, wait a minute. I had all the stats. And I said, you know what? I said, why would you take this guy? I'm a lot cheaper. I'm trying to get in the league. And he said something to me that stuck with me forever. He said, you know what? We'd rather take a guy who was in the NFL than a guy who wasn't. And I said, damn. I said, well, Mr. Graves, this sounds like a catch-22. I was like, you don't want to take me because I don't have an experience. How do I get an experience unless someone takes me? And he said, good luck. He said, no, we're happy if we have good luck. And I think that's what they have. If you got a guy, once you get in the league, it's easier to stick around and get claimed by somebody who's in the league, or another team, because you're in the league. So, the Odell Beckham's, hey, I ain't mad at him for getting that contract. I just don't think he's, anything close to what he was prior. Smoot, okay, great. None of these guys move the needle, but that little tidbit of politics, man, it resonated with me. I can remember that phone call like it was 5 minutes ago. So, yeah. You just get guys, you just go get, all you do is retreads. You guys who were in the league before, fill position, bodies. So, yeah.
What say you, Kedz?
Like getting back more directly to Smoot, he would have been a decent piece. I'd like to say he's getting old or something like that. He's not. He was drafted in 2017. He's not that old. He's got a decent amount of sacks in comparison to some of the stuff that we've been putting on the other side of Montez Sweat. It would be an interesting move for him to have come here for all intents and purposes. If he is over in Buffalo, I think they really need the help over there. So again, enjoy the time in Buffalo. Brian?
One, I think he signed with Miami. I'm not 100% sure.
Miami? I'm looking here. It's in May 3rd, 2024, signed a 1-year contract with Buffalo Bills. That's what I'm getting here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then I could be wrong.
He definitely went to Miami. No, he went to the Bills. He went to the Bills. My mistake.
If the Bears would have got him, it wouldn't have been a bad deal whatsoever. But I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. He's not the type of person that would put us over the hump. I mean, I know we need somebody across from Sweat. And also he's had a couple of seasons with injuries and all like that. I want someone a little bit more reliable. I'm not going to bash the guy or whatever. Like I said, it would have been a good signing, but nothing that, changes my outlook on the coming season.
Yeah. Well, I just, I thought it was worth mentioning that there's one more guy off the market, in the DN market, a little bit over as time goes, that market will shrivel. a little bit at a time and wither down a little bit. And not to say that the Bears need to be in a rush to hurry up and get something done. It's just worth, to me, it's worth pointing out. But that being said, man, there's something going on, man. And listen, before I say this, I'm talking to everybody in the chat right now who feels a certain way about Chase Claypool. Don't take this personal. This is just me being who I am and the type of person that I am. And I just, as you guys know, I can't stand too much negativity, man. It's just, Chase Claypool, I'm as big a Bear fan as anybody on the planet, and I witnessed everything that happened when Chase Claypool was here. And what I have to say to that is it was a failure. And for whatever reasons they were, any mitigating circumstances that caused all that to happen, including himself. However that happened, it didn't work out for us here. But one thing about me, I never, ever, ever felt the need to SHIT on that young man. And for reasons, just being a human being that I am, if I look on Twitter today, he gets signed by Buffalo, and it's just so much hate towards him coming out of this fan base. And I'm just like, why, man? Why? Why do you feel the desire to do that to him? Is it because I understand that it didn't work out well here and we lost a second-round pick? I witnessed all that myself. But the level of animosity towards him, it's like because he didn't work out here, every turn he takes, requires a kick in the crotch. And that's the part that bugs me, man. I just don't understand why people are like that. I've like I said, I experienced everything everybody else experienced with the Chase Claypool time being here. But I never felt the need to trash that kid. He obviously has some growing up to do. He's obviously got some maturing to do. And he's obviously got some work to do on his game. Study time and all the stuff that it requires to be a great football player, you need to do. But you guys, I think it's important to remember how young these people are. You're talking about 20-year-old people that are just learning life and getting valuable life experiences. Not only that, are just growing up and maturing. And so I'm gonna stop talking, but I just don't really understand why people feel it's necessary to trash another human being like that didn't work out well for your team. I just don't see the need to do it, Shawn.
It's because people are stupid, bro. That's the bottom line. People are jagbags. All right. It's easy to sit there and be a little thumb thug and criticize people when you have never stepped in that arena, when you don't even have the 1/10 of his athleticism. You know what I mean? And it's just easy. And it's people love that type of stuff for whatever reason. I was upset with him because, man, from the story I just told you prior, like, give me that shot. I think he wasted, and he got some money. Let's not get it twisted. He got money for his first contract. All right. But the fact of the matter is you wasted a golden opportunity. All right. Do you realize how many people would kill to be in your spot? I would have been one of them. You know what I mean? Back in the day, if I had that opportunity, all I wanted was a chance. And he had that chance and to squander it away, because of whatever situation. Like, you got to figure that out. And I know he's young, but you also have to realize, but that's that entitled thing. That entitled thing. Like, no, you don't deserve to be in the NFL. You're not. It's not a given. It's a right. It's a privilege. It's just tons of people. What is it? Like 1% of all high school players will make it to the NFL, and you beat those odds, and you didn't give a damn. All right, you didn't give a damn, and that's the reason I'm upset about it. I'm not going to trash him, but I'm saying you wasted an opportunity, young man. And if you get another shot, but who you say Buffalo got him? Is that who? Yeah. Well, and for your sake, hopefully your past influence the decision making on your future, because again, not bashing him, but I'm not bashing him. Period. I just think you didn't realize what got you all those modeling contracts, what got you a lot of the other stuff, and that's playing football. And when you understand, like most people probably wouldn't have looked at you because if you weren't playing football. You got to remember, you got to dance with who brung you. Okay, as an old saying goes. And who brung you? That was football. So that gets the most attention out of everybody. And to me, it seemed like he didn't give it the most attention. He got a lot of these other superfluous things and craziness, and I got modeling contracts and all. Nah, bro. Mm-mm. You're not going to be getting paid millions of dollars, all right, like you are in the NFL. And that's the sad part, is that he squandered an opportunity. So hopefully he's got a shot. I should say hopefully he takes advantage of this new shot he's got and sees where he can, kind of right or wrong, and maybe stay in the league another 3 or 4 years, get a pension, and then you're in a much better shape than you were at the end of last year. So I just think he was young and dumb and didn't have any. Because if you had guidance, someone's going to tell you, because someone you care about, they're going to knock you upside the head and be like, damn fool, what are you doing? All right, you're wasting the time. So he didn't have it in his life. So, but good luck to him. Hopefully he sticks. Hopefully he stays for another couple years in the league somewhere. Like I said, but if he doesn't, you got to look and blame but the man in the mirror.
Well, I feel a little bit differently, but not that much differently from Shawn. To be honest with you, first off, I'm Canadian. The kid's from Canada. I've been following him for quite some time. He also looks a heck of a lot like my son. My son has played defensive end and tight end. They're about the same size. Like, just I connect with him personally and have for quite some time. Him getting drafted, him jumping into the draft, I was hoping Chicago would pick him. They didn't. He went to Pittsburgh, immediately made a name for himself, and I was like, wow, look at this kid go. It would be some kind of thing if he shows up in Chicago one of these days. And then he went dancing around in Pittsburgh, and that sort of threw everything aside. I don't know what happened, man. This guy went dancing around on the Pittsburgh logo or something, or celebrating after. I think he was celebrating after a play. I don't remember exactly what happened, but after he had his little altercation in Pittsburgh, his entire career went left field. The entire thing. Nothing has moved forward properly for Chase Claypool since that day. I'm not sure if it's anything else but attitude. I know Nomad has sort of looked at it as a maturity thing, and definitely that plays in. I am going to give him a little bit of a pass. And somebody mentioned in the chat there today, just sort of saying, Courtney Cronin set him up. I'm not so sure if she did, but she definitely put the microphone in front of the one guy, I think, in that locker room that had no problems being vocal. And I think he had problems with his, I think he was too vocal in the locker room itself, as well as on the field, as far as some of the altercations we were seeing during training camp. He was the one guy that I can sit here and say that I don't believe was able to hold his tongue during those meetings. And at some point, that's either going to polarize the team against you or with you. And I think a little bit of both happened. And when I say I think a little bit of both, I feel that Chase had an issue with the role that he was given here in Chicago and decided to take his ball and go home. And that's really what wound up happening for him. End of the day, am I going to, place blame or fault on Chase for doing that? Maybe. I'm a Bears fan. I might. I'll be honest about it. I might put a little blame on him. But at the same time, then we look forward and we see the other players who were put into that role after Chase left and how much success they had. So maybe I'll take a little bit of that blame away from Chase and put it back on Luke Getsy. There's definitely a conversation to be had there. Now, we see Chase go to Miami. Miami's got a powerhouse offense with two of the best wide receivers in the league, fantastic running back, and an upcoming quarterback. Tell me how many catches Chase Claypool caught in that offense. And the answer is very similar to where we are today, where we were in Chicago by way of catches here. So clearly a problem on this side, clearly a problem in Pittsburgh, clearly a problem in Miami to the point that they didn't want to re-sign him. And off he goes to the next location, being Buffalo. I don't know what's going to happen in Buffalo, but I couldn't expect good things for him.
I can hear it about his computer, man. But Brian, what say you about that, man? What do you think about that whole thing with Chase?
Well, with Chase, the young man, like I said, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I watched him at Notre Dame. There's no denying his talent, ability. I hope for his sake that he realizes this could be it. Take advantage of the opportunity, and things work out for him. Sorry it didn't work out here, but as far as, personally for his sake, I hope it does for him. As far as people that want to bitch, damn, complain, put people down, just like spiders and snakes, they're part of the ecosystem. You got to deal with it, ignore it, and go on. Don't let it bother you.
Well, that being said, I'll just leave that there. I just wish him luck. Everybody has their maturity curve as far as that comes to you differently at different times of your life. He definitely squandered an opportunity, a couple of them. I don't know what happened in Miami, quite frankly, but here he definitely squandered one. Just being himself probably cost him for the most part. But I do wish him well, man. I'm a lover of people overcoming. You know what I mean? I love to see people people go through things and overcome their shortcomings. Man, I absolutely love to see success stories and stuff like that. So I just wish him well and hope that he does seize this opportunity, because they have not only dwindled, this could be his last one. You never know. And so I hope he sees it that way and then acts upon it, in that manner. But real quick, there's another little bit of news out there. Don't know how true it is, but the more and more I hear it and see, some of the sources that it comes from, there's some talk about the Bengals might be calling Ryan Poles and inquiring, Shawn, about Khalil Herbert in a trade. And before I even speak on it, I'll just let you guys take off and see what you guys think about that.
And I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people say, some people called me and asked me if the Bears are shopping him. And I said, you know what? I don't think they're shopping him, but I think he's on people's radar. I think people are interested in him and his talents. So, you want draft capital? Okay, it's a possibility if you want. Do you think you're not going to re-sign him? Or do you think, you got DeAndre Swift for a couple of years. You got Roschon Johnson still on a rookie deal. Are you okay moving off of him and getting some draft capital? Okay. I hope not. I like Khalil Herbert. I think he's a great, zone runner. You just got to make sure we continue to run zone a lot more as opposed to more power as we have in the past. But if he goes, the thing is, I liked him. I interviewed him plenty of times and talked to him in the locker room. I was happy when he finally came back, had 100 yards, and had 90 another time. But I don't see him as a game changer or anything special. I think he's a good running back, but nothing to write home mom about. If you can get draft capital for him, cool. I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm gonna highlight this before I really touch into what you're saying. So Nomad, what do you think about the Trey Hendrickson trade option? And why I sort of threw that in there is just with respect to, I think the Bengals might be in need of a running back. I know they lost Joey Mixon. I'm not sure if they replaced.
I think they drafted a guy. I can't remember exactly who, but you still need a veteran back. Every room needs veterans in it, and Khalil Herbert could fit that role.
So I see they've got Zach Moss on the roster. I'm not sure. Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Cliff Evans, Trevion Williams.
It's interesting that you bring this FFG style comment up, because let me read it out for people that are doing this show via audio. FFG style says, at Nomad, what do you think about the Trey Hendrickson trade option? Trey Hendrickson's a DN, an all-pro DN from Cincinnati, and Kedz is bringing it up in accordance with the talk about Khalil Herbert being discussed in trade options with the Bengals. So I think what you're saying is could this be part of a situation, a two-way situation?
And this is what I'm saying, right? So we've got.
They did draft Kedz. I just checked. They didn't draft the running back.
That's
It is
because
I
they
don't think so.
got Chase Brown last year, Sean. I'm seeing it in the chat now.
Chase Brown's a nice piece too. Like he's a solid back, but I'm not sure if he's really going to be their number one starting guy. We all know Khalil Herbert can do that. He's been and done that for the last few years for us. He's quite good at it. I think that would potentially open a door to a conversation about a trade for between the Bengals and Bears. A, for a defensive edge rusher being Trey Hendrickson. B, for a running back being Khalil Herbert going over there. That might even negate the the caliber of draft capital you might have had to throw into a trade like that, right? You might be looking at a third and a fourth swap case scenario now, if that's what we're talking about. That's interesting stuff. I didn't really think about the potential of Khalil Herbert moving on to another team, but with DeAndre Swift in that backfield as part of that committee, he'll likely be leading the committee. So maybe we don't need Khalil Herbert as much, but utilizing him in a trade case scenario is very interesting.
Let me mention this before you go, Brian. Hold on, before you go, Brian. Florida Bears fans is asking, Nomad, can we swap Larry Borum and Don B for even swap for Hendrickson?
Ain't nobody in Cincinnati or any other team is taking on Don Burr.
Yeah,
they might want Larry
Well,
Borum.
it's their loss.
You might need some special needs training to be able to house Don Burr, man. I'm just bullshitting, Don. You my guy.
Jacked up. Funny.
Funny.
True, but jacked up.
Hey, Brian, so what do you think, man? I interrupted you. I'm sorry, brother.
Well, number one, I want to keep Don Berg because I like him. But number two, Sean kind of hit the nail on the head. Herbert, good change of pace. He's not a bell cow. To me, it kind of speaks volumes. How well is Roshan doing? Or what do they think about his progression? And two, that kid that they signed, that Ian Wheeler.
Yeah.
Man, I watched some of his tape, and he's like a little jitterbug, fast as hell.
So Brian, let me ask you this, man, and apologize for interrupting. When you get to thinking about it, and I'll ask you all you guys, you get to thinking about it. We just drafted our running back last year. What was the need? I know we didn't draft Ian Wheeler. We grabbed him on the UDFA market. Out of all the guys on there, is there a particular Sean? And I want to ask all you guys: do they see the possibility that we may have to trade a running back out of our locker room, and maybe this guy is going to bring us some kind of insurance if we do, Ian Wheeler?
That's how I'm looking at it. Number one, we also don't.
Well,
go ahead,
Brian.
Sean. Oh, I was just going to say, we also don't know how the talks. This is Caleb's last year on his rookie deal. We don't know how those talks are progressing too. And he may be saying, hey, you got Johnson last year. You just picked up this guy this year. You're telling me that you don't want me. Who knows?
That's a very good thought. He could be requesting not a trade, but hey, if you can move me, I'd be more than happy to acquiesce.
Yeah.
I want to get a shot. And maybe Brian Poles feels the same way. He was like, hey, here's what we got. Here's what we got. Let me move him. I mean, I don't think his situation is similar to Justin's because he felt better. I shouldn't say felt better. He wanted to do right by Justin. Maybe he feels like he wants to do right by this guy and moving him to a spot where he can possibly shine and maybe get an extension. Say, hey, you know what? They need something, and it's self-serving, and he's not necessarily going out of his way, but maybe self-serving. Like, okay, boom, you want to go here? It's a perfect fit for you. We get some draft capital back. At the end of the day, it works out for everybody.
Well, not to skip over you, Kedz, but real quick. Poles seems to me to be the type general manager that if a player says, hey, it just ain't working out or blah, 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 trade me or whatever, that he's going to accommodate them. I mean, some guys want to hold on to that last game of their contract. And I don't think Poles is that type of guy. If he sees there's going to be any kind of uh, disgruntle or a player that don't want to be here, fine, we'll get you out of here.
Man, I don't see like this is why I don't. This is why I want to investigate that timeline with Coach T, because I don't believe that whole thing was really about the best place for Justin Fields. I think it was really about I just got to get this guy off my roster before I got to draft the other guy. I'm drafting the other guy. That's me. I'll leave that. I don't. When it comes to being a football GM, I would rather Ryan Poles be shrewd. I'm just going to be completely fair and say that to a certain extent. You kind of have to be shrewd. It's a business, right? If Khalil's not getting played, he may have, just like you're saying, Brian, he might have that wherewithal to go like, you guys just brought in a guy. He's going to start in front of me. You drafted a guy last year. Where is he going to start? In front or behind me? Where does that leave me in this depth chart, right? Like these are obvious questions for Khalil to be asking. If he's asking those questions, Ryan Poles should also be asking the question, what can I get for this guy on the open market, if anything? If I can get something for him on the open market, then maybe I pull the trigger now so there's less turmoil throughout training camp with the new roster, as we fill it out. That's just me. I would rather him be looking towards gaining and garnering capital off of the players that he's developed or that the team has developed as a whole, as opposed to looking for places where they fit in or are going to have, the best careers. Because realistically, once they're signed with another team, their career means absolutely nothing to Ryan. Like nobody's going to come back and go, "Hey, Ryan, thanks for sending me to Miami. Like it was, thank you. I owe you $50 or something." Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? No, it makes no difference there. It's really about that player and his wherewithal and progression at that new place. If he wants to leave, as well as the Chicago Bears gaining draft capital or physical human capital at another position, and that's why I threw that Trey Hendrickson trade in there, because maybe it makes acquiring a guy like that a fair amount easier. Nomad?
Well,
Brian.
Something else real quick, and this was talked on Shawn's show today with Herb. When you look at the receivers that the Bears have, the three receivers, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and Swift being able to catch, how many times are they going to pass in a game? Technically, I would hope probably no more than 35 times. And that's stretching it. Between 30 and 35 times is what I'm hoping they do. But when you look at that roster, the running backs are going to be thinking, gee, how many times am I going to be able to touch the ball?
Yeah. It's going to make for an interesting conversation, but I gotta put a pin in it so we can get to the next part of the show. The epitome of why we're doing the show are these UDFAs, and when we get to the other side of the station ID, I think we're going to start with that center, Shawn. I got some good notes for him, man. We're going to see what everybody thinks about that. But first, the station ID.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That's right, all you lovely human beings out there and all you supporters of the Nomad Network and Sports Zone Chicago. Thank you for all of your support. And anybody new to either one of these two channels, please do us the kind favor of hitting the subscribe button. It absolutely costs you nothing. We do all the work. You get to enjoy it all. Simple as that. Subscribe button, zero money. Like button, zero money. Nomad Network and Sports Zone Chicago, all the workload. We do it all for you. And then we don't mind doing it. So please be nice and hit those subscribe buttons. We are on a push to move up our subscription counts, and we need you to do that, man. So we would thank you in advance and really appreciate any of your support. But let's get back to this conversation about the UDFA, Shawn. Hayden Gilliam, center from Kansas State, 6'3", 301. Here's my notes, and here's the RAS scores on this guy. when you see red on there, you start to wonder, okay, what's that all about? So you see where the red is. His bench press. He got 15 on a bench press. That's not saying a lot about a 300-pound guy benching 225. Am I not right, Shawn?
Dude, I think I had a 12 or 13 as a college running back.
Man, you never.
At least you're honest about it, Shawn. Good on you, brother. Not everybody be out there admitting.
No, hey, but look at it. I mean, he's red at the bench, so upper body strength. You know, I don't know what could get somebody to only, 15 is not awful, but I guess in comparison to other guys,
bro, you got to be 20. You got to be 20 as an offensive lineman. Dude, I did 12, at least 12 I was 192 pounds my junior year. All right. And got it. You know what I mean? Like you can't get, you can't be 300 pounds and only bench press 225 15 times. There's no way. That's good. You talk about a boulder falling to the bottom of the sea. That's the way your draft stock's going to go. You only got this amount. Yeah. Sorry.
Shawn, it's only two things on here, and one of them's not in red. There's only two things in here that give me a pause, and one of them, actually, the red part, the bench press, that upper body strength, it's something that I didn't see on film. A lack of, I would say, I didn't see the lack of upper body strength on film, and I watched a pretty good amount of his tape. I didn't see it be reflected in the way that he plays. He's a compact dude. He's 6'3", 301, built really, really stout. And his arm
pluggish.
Yeah. He's exactly what you would want as a center, man. You need to be one of those, you need to be built like in a certain way. I never thought that really long arm, tall centers were really the best at what they had to do. To me, in my eyes, he's built perfectly for the job. Only thing I would say is, none of the other red stuff bothers me. 40-yard, 20-yard split, 10-yard split. Who gives a damn about any of that stuff? That's kind of why I poo-poo on RAS scores, because it's just like stuff that don't even register, in a football game. Who gives a damn how fast he runs a 40-yard dash? Nobody.
Not for hogs, no.
So the arm length, that's one thing. I don't think 32-inch arms are horrible for a center, but the things about him that I liked, Shawn, was he has consistent center to quarterbacks clean snaps. You need to see that. And of course, we in Chicago are pretty sensitive to that, right? We need to see the quarterback to center exchange be pretty solid, right? And so you see that pretty consistent on his tape. Very physical, good in his own run concept, and pulls like a freight train. He does. This is the con I have on him, Shawn, and I wonder if you picked this up while you was watching him too. This guy's on the ground way too much. And so I don't know if it's due to him being over aggressive and his physical tendencies, especially when he pulls. Like when he pulls and has to go attack someone on the other side of the ball, he's going after him so hard to lay that big shot on him, he ends up on the ground. And everybody knows, man, you know this as well as I do, Shawn. Any good offensive lineman needs to stay on his feet to remain live in a play. And so that thing was something that stood out to me. Feeling like he needs to add another 10 pounds on him. He was decent at reaching the second level with his second level blocks. Also, but not great at pass pro. I think he can easily add the muscle. He was a walk-on and ended up at Kansas State being a starter by 2022. And so, it's a lot of. I saw a lot of good versus bad in this guy, man. I don't know how you saw that, Shawn, but I think he's with our situation being Bates and the other guy we signed, we're still going to need a third guy that probably won't make the roster every week, but you need that backup. So I think he's a threat to the other guy we've had on the roster for a couple of years. He's going to give him a push for that spot, that practice squad spot.
Yeah, he seemed too sluggish for me. He plotted. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you can work on some quickness, but he knew where he's going. Don't get me wrong. He knew where he was going. He just seemed a little too plotting for me. All right, and he looked plotting in college. these D linemen in the NFL are not going to be, man, they are going to eat you up if you come around that slow. I mean, he connects, but again, you're dealing with college players, and I just think he's a step slow. And the thing that I care about is this 10-yard split. You know, like I need to see. I just need to see you be able to move, get your first step out there. Again, I don't care about the 40. I don't care about the 20. Give me your 10. I want to see where you go. I want to see, you know, can you get out quick? All right, because you know we've seen Russell Maryland, we've seen Warren Sapp, we've seen Aaron Donald, we've seen these types of players. You pull, you know, if one guy pulls and you got to reach and you got to do something, you're done. I just think he's a little too lead-footed. I think he's strong. I think his lower body is strong, and I think that definitely helps with the lack of upper body strength with only 15. I think he's able to anchor because you know if you can't, he's able to anchor with his legs, his strong legs. But I wasn't very impressed. Like I said, I think he's maybe a practice squad player, sure, but I think you got to get him on a jump rope. You got to get him in the water, moving laterally, pulling. To me, he would be a project.
Okay. I agree with everything Shawn has said. I didn't mind him though. Now that I get the opportunity to look at his RAS, he would be much more of a developmental player. The snaps looked really clean. Like I have to give him that. The snaps looked really clean. But yeah, if we're talking about a 15 bench, there's room for him to grow by way of strength just to uphold his area. All this red here, 40, 20, 10, shuttle, yellow, right? Like you're right, Shawn. He needs to get in the water and add some, you know, some
lateral movement, quickness,
some lateral movement. Like you got it. Like that's really what he needs. I would put it this way: if we're looking to have somebody developmental, I think he has a couple of things that are of interest. First one being, once more, his ability to snap the ball and get right into position to block is key. It's there. He knows what he's doing. I think he's just a little bit undersized, and he might be able to put that on over the course of the next season and a half. So, developmental guy, not a bad guy to have on your roster in that respect. I'll give him that.
You know what? I think he's real quick. Sorry. I think, you know, Barely said he had good tape. Yeah, he knows where to go. He got to those guys, but again, I don't know if he's going to get to those guys at the next level. I just don't know he's going to get to those. He knows where he wants. Put it this way. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Fundamentally sound. He knows where to go. He knows where to get, where to be. And in that conference, he's able to get there. The next level, you know, I'm not going to put a cap on him saying he can't do it. I would never do that for a player. I'm just saying with what I saw, he would be a step slow. But he knows where he's going. He knows he's got to get there. Yeah, and maybe the next level, maybe he's working on it. Maybe he's working on it as we speak. He could very well be. Because if I see it, you know, someone else sees it as well. So, again, I think he's fundamentally sound, just a tad slow. That's it. You get a little lateral movement, better lateral movement. I'm all in. I'm all in as a backup center for this guy.
I agree, and I think you brought up something really important, and that is just, the competition that he was going up against. I wasn't really sure how to judge that. He did well by way of tape early, Small. I have to agree with you. Looking at it, his tape looks good, but all this red here and yellow, I can see where he needs to improve, and at that, as a developmental prospect, I think he can go far. Yeah,
I didn't even see his RAS score until 5 minutes ago. So you put this up, so I was just going off of what I saw.
Yeah, I'm with you both. Brian, what do you think, man?
Well, I apologize. I didn't see tape of this guy, so I'm just going by the RAS score too. Between the bench press and the 10-yard split, that tells me the guy, his technique has to be perfect every snap. And that's asking a heck of a lot from a player to be perfect every time. And I don't see where he's an improvement over Kramer, and I doubt if Kramer makes the team. So, yay for getting an opportunity. I just don't see it being any further than that.
Let me speak to that for a sec. There, Nomad. I'm real quick. How many years has Kramer been on the team now?
It's be a third year, I believe.
Yeah, we're getting close to the time where you have to make a decision as to what to do with Kramer by way of dollars and cents. And that's what this is going to come down to, I think. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we can all sort of count the amount of snaps that we've seen Kramer take, especially at the center position. So that's what worries me. He hasn't gotten a lot of reps, doesn't have a lot of experience there to add on to his development. So, hopefully he can stick around and continue his tenure here. And for me personally, I have a strange feeling he may be on his way up.
So here's my overall take on this kid. What I saw fundamentally about this dude and everything that you need playing the center position, I thought he was fundamentally sound. Mm-hmm. Does Shawn have a point about him being kind of a plotter, getting from A to B? I think he does have heavier feet, but I think I didn't see that being a hindrance to him at all. Watching him on tape, he played against some pretty good competition and fared well. Man, they had a pretty good run game, at Kansas State this year and the last couple of years while he's been the starter. And I just think he's got some goods, man. And I think if Kedz is right about this is about his third year, Doug Kramer. If they feel like he's not developing in a way that they had expected. This is a good UDFA signing. It's a guy I think you can work with and work on and get him up to, get him up to stuff. Because I had a hard time trying to find, negativities about him. What I said, I really feel like I saw, and I just didn't see a whole lot wrong with what I saw on tape. I think he's fundamentally sound. I think he's a good pickup. Will he make the roster? Who the hell knows? But I think it's worth saying that to me, he's got more pros than any cons that I saw. But that being said,
I agree with you, bro. The fundamentals, bro. Like I said, he gets his upfield shoulder. He gets it. And he gets there. He gets you, and he gets you in the right spot. You just got to get there, and that's it. Like fundamentals. Hey, nothing wrong with being fun. It's fundamental. The fundamentals is great. Just get a little quicker. Just get a little more explosive. Get a little. If he did that, man, then I think he's really got a chance to push Kramer out. And again, he might be doing that. He might be in the water. He might be on resistance bands. He might be doing a lot of lateral movement. He very well could be. And he comes into camp looking different. Like, whoa, we never saw this dude. We didn't see this dude. I don't know. It's just he knows what to do. He's fundamentally sound. He knows his assignment. He was able to get there. All right. It's just, I just think he would, for me, he would just be a backup. I hope for his sake he works out. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I think what Jan Hammer said there, let me put that back up real quick. That's the one thing that stuck out to me. And, most of the times that he was on the ground was just him being overzealous, trying to, when he's pulling out to go jackhammer somebody, he wanted it that bad and overshot the target and ended up on the ground quite a few times. And I think that's easy to clean up, man. You can't get the big shot on all of them. You're not going to be able to, mollywop every guy you pull on. You got to be deliberate with your target strikes, man. You got to, motor it down just a little bit to make sure you get contact on the guy and not the big shot every single time. So that, to me, if I were to describe a lot of the times I've seen him on the ground, it would be because of that. He was always looking for that shot on somebody. But let's get to the next guy, man, because I think this is an interesting guy. It's going to be interesting to see what Shawn thinks of this dude here. John McCartan, 6'5", 260. He's a DN, from Oregon State. Man, now this guy is, if you watch it, you look at this guy on tape and then turn on some Austin Booker tape, it's going to be kind of hard to tell the difference between these two dudes. They're both similarly built, shaped the same, long, fast to the ball, man. They've got a lot of, like the 40-yard dash, the 20-yard split, all that stuff in the red. That doesn't bother me, man. I didn't see that on tape. 3-cone being red, that's not going to bother me. His weight, I will say this, Shawn. The pick of Austin Booker and this guy right here in in the UDFA market tells me one thing, Shawn. They have got a different type of plan with what they plan to do with their defensive fronts. They have a different plan in the body types. And so they're getting what you would call untraditional guys as opposed to what we've been used to since Flus has been here. Now, this guy, either one, whether it be Austin Booker or this guy, John McCartan, you would have said, nope, he's not a fit here in our scheme because they're typical guys for a 3-4 type of scheme, both Booker and McCartan. And so what I'm saying to you guys is this pick right here in free agency, don't have any idea if he's going to make the team. But between he and Booker, I am so excited to see what they do with these guys because there's so many variations of how they can apply these two players right here. It's just, I just can't wait to see how hybrid the fronts get. But this guy is a signal to me, and Austin Booker are a signal to me that they have a different type of plan on how to attack team defensively from their front four, your front three, however they plan on applying these guys. But let me get to some points that I pointed out about him. He's stronger, he's bigger, and he's stronger than Austin Booker. Long, he's got pretty good speed. You can see his speed on film. He can bend around the corner pretty well. Let me see. Plays well, very well when he drops back in coverage. Very well. That stuck out to me. Shed blocks and uses his hands well. Those are a few of the things that I saw about this guy, Shawn. I want to see what you came away with on tape.
He's a poor man's or a secondary version of Booker. And Booker still has some work to do. He's not as explosive as Booker. I think he's got a lot of heart. I think he's got a good motor. I think he does. But Booker, I again at him, he seems coming off slow. And then again, I didn't see any of these RAS scores until you put him up. His 10-yard split is slow. His bench is slow. Like I need a 10-yard split coming out big time. Like I need a good, you know what I mean? And Booker's 10-yard split was like 0.1 something slower than Xavier Worthy. All right. So, and he was only the fastest guy in the draft. So that's what I mean. I wasn't very impressed with him. I mean, what to me, what this guy is a camp body. That's it. I think he's a camp body. Maybe bounce around a little bit on a practice squad here, a practice squad there. I don't think anyone's going to bring him up to the 53-man roster on a regular basis. I just don't. I just think he's an average. I think he's an average Joe.
An average bear. To quote Yogi B. Bear.
Yogi.
So I'm surprised by the Austin Booker comp, and I'm really thinking about it, and it's pretty close. On tape, you don't see the speed and burst that you see with Booker. So like Shawn's bang on with his explosive comment, you just don't see it. What you do see, and Nomad was bang on with his comment about in coverage, they drop this kid into coverage quite frequently, and he's involved. He gets in there, he's knocking passes down, he's intercepting passes, which I found kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Things I didn't see from him. You don't see him get washed out on a rush, and that's just because he ain't super fast, right? Like he's not super fast, so he kind of muscles and motors his way back into the pocket. I didn't mind watching him. John McCartan actually looked pretty decent to me, and I have to stop and all eyes on Dom Robinson. To me, at this point, I sort of move away from the Austin Booker comparison, and I start to compare him to what I saw from Dom Robinson last year. And I'm gonna have to say this now. I see more in this kid than I do in Dom Robinson. Is Dom Robinson faster? Yes, he is. Could he be more explosive? He could if he had more in his tool bag. But I feel like this kid actually is bringing a bit of a tool bag to the table, and just doesn't like. You're looking at the RAS here. He just clearly doesn't have the RAS to compete. But that's really all Dom Robinson has over him is just strictly athletic capabilities. I think this guy's actually a pretty decent defensive end. and we'll see what they do with them.
Time out, kids, because you're so good, and Shawn is so good, and Brian are so good at doing podcasts. This is what you did to Sheep Plank. Oh, damn, I spent so much time reading the chat and listening to the show that my dinner is burning. You burn up the dinner, dinner listening to us, huh?
Sheep Plank, I'm really sorry, Sheep Plank. What were you cooking anyways? What was you cooking?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that. No, don't tell me, because I'm hungry right now. Don't even say nothing.
I don't want to know, Sheep Plank.
Yeah, me too.
So what
Shawn, you fasting? You fasting, Shawn?
No, that's next week. Next Monday,
Next
Tuesday,
week?
Wednesday.
All right, just checking. All right.
Yeah, so why you can have your freaking donuts, you son of a biscuit.
I'm gonna have a donut. After the show.
And cheers to Shawn's hunger next week. All right. What'd you think about him, Brian? Did you get a chance to check him out?
No, but just looking at the RAS score, one concern, he's kind of short-armed.
Yes, 32 inches.
Yeah, I couldn't see that.
But what don't make sense to me, and I believe in the grass brought this up, you look at his vertical and his broad jump, and it's outstanding. And then you look at that 40-yard dash. Hell, my hover round gets faster than that when it's fully charged. And then that 10-yard split, that don't do crap either. Like Shawn said, camp body next.
Okay.
She said she's got Sheep Plank said, I like to say something gourmet, but it's really just hamburger helper.
Lasagna.
Hey, that works when you're hungry.
Hey, I ain't got no problem with it. Hamburger helper has helped me many a night, man. I promise you that. Many a night. College days, oh my goodness, man. Hamburger helper
makes a great meal.
Man. All right, man. So let's get to Reddy Stewart, man. Let's get to Reddy Stewart. Now, look at how red his RAS score is. This guy got a 4.95 on his RAS score. Height.
Wow. That's really surprising.
He's red in height, weight, and he's listed as 176 on, in his college, the website. He's 176. Maybe he got heavier for the combine. I have no idea. Bench press 11. He's not a strong looking guy. Vertical jump wasn't that high, but the shuttle and 3-cone, all that stuff. Really, I mean, he's a football player. I keep telling people all the time, I'm just not an analytics guy when it comes to it. I see what I see on the film, and that tells me my Bible, man. When it comes to a football player, I look at these RAS scores and compare them to what I saw on tape, and I'm just like, it doesn't even matter to me. Doesn't matter, doesn't register. And so thank you, Chris, for bringing up this RAS score. But you look at how red this RAS score is, and then you turn on the tape. And then go back to this RAS score, and you tell me what you think about what this RAS score is, because this guy is impressive on tape. When I say impressive, I mean there's some features about this guy. I mean, this guy, the ball finds him. Ball finds him.
Bingo.
And, that you circle that alone, and that gets you into somebody's training camp.
Yep.
If you're around the ball that often, and when he gets his opportunities, he makes good use of them, man. When he gets around that ball, he gets his hand on it. Good luck. You better get him down early, because it's probably going to be 6. He also brings a little value to you in punt return, kickoff return. I mean, his twitch. I mean, I mentioned this the other night when we did a show talking about these UDFAs. I mentioned this. Me being a cornerback, I can relate to this very intimately. There's a difference between an average cornerback and a great cornerback in his first step. And so say he's sitting in zone coverage in a ball, he's reading a route concept, and he's seeing when the ball's coming out, and he's seeing where the ball is going, how fast he gets from A to B. How fast do you get from A to B in your ability to break on the ball and make a play on the ball? That part of his game is absolutely elite.
Unbelievable.
But I'll say some of my commentary for you, Shawn. Go ahead.
I don't know how all this freaking red is in here, and he plays as well as he does. That is an anomaly to me. That is an anomaly to me. But you know what? There's a word you heard of this, Nomad, and some of you may have heard in the chat. He's a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a gamer. So there's people you look at like, okay, if you looked at this, you're like, yeah, not even a camp body. Next. you turn on the tape, you're like, damn, he's breaking up passes. He's a ball magnet. He's always on the ball. And I cannot tell you, as a former defensive coordinator, I cannot tell you how important it is to have a guy who's always around, period. Because things happen. Ball gets on the dude. I had a dude twice in one season. He was chasing a dude. The dude dropped the ball. Like, he didn't even hit it. He didn't strip it, nothing. But this dude was just always around the ball. Like, how does the ball always pop out when you're around? I would tell this kid, this is what this guy's like. This guy seems to be around the ball. The ball is a magnet to him. There's no metric you can use to explain it. No logic, no rhyme, no reason. Sometimes it is what it is, and that dude just got a nose for the ball. Period. End of story. And people like that, you ripped it up, tossed it away, and said, "All right, let me get out there on the field. Let me see what you got, kid."
Man, like this RAS score just doesn't show it here at all, right? Like, if you had the opportunity to look at the tape, you look at this RAD score and you're like, really though? Like, he doesn't look explosive or anything to that effect, so I can understand these RAD scores. Like, I can understand it. But end of the day, he's where the ball is. He's got his eyes on the quarterback, in position, great instincts, knocks balls down, or he's taking them for 6 in the other direction. I was quite surprised to see how many interceptions he had over right? Like a bunch.
The guy at his position is top tier. I mean, right up there at the top tier in the country in some of those statistics, man. I'm talking about the country, not the level of college. I mean, in the country. This kid is no joke. There's got to be some reason why he wasn't drafted. I think, to me, his size.
It's probably what we're looking at here, though.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. Analytics are overrated.
Yeah, if you're looking at this RAS, especially if you're Ryan Poles and you're a big RAS guy, there's no way you're drafting a Reddy Stewart. But if you took the time to sit down and actually look at this tape, at some point you're gonna have to stop and go, just like, how is this guy? How did he get this many interceptions? How is he always around the football all the time? And it's hard to explain. I can't explain it, but he does a great job. I
can help you in that department. Doing your homework, number one. Just having, and I can't overemphasize this instinctively. When you're instinctive and you just have a sense for what's going on in front of you, your instincts just take over. And sometimes it will take you way out of where you're supposed to be on a particular assignment because your instincts take over. The good coaches, Shawn, will attest to you, and they will tell you, don't get so wrapped up in, what the assignment is asking you to do. Let your instincts take over. Don't be so caught up in the X's and O's and they play a lot of cloud coverage where he's at in Troy, and cloud coverage is just basically zone coverage. And so you can get wrapped up in where you're supposed to be and not be where you need to be, during the play, and just ignore what you see in front of you instead of letting your instincts take over and letting that dictate what you do. And so I think Shawn could attest to that much of it.
Yeah. What you don't want to be is robotic, and he's a gamer. There's nothing more, nothing less. This dude is a gamer, and you put him on, and the ball, dude. There are a couple times the ball, if you watch the film, it bounces off somebody right to him. Like he's not even in the play, and he must have heard the ball, or he sees the ball going to another receiver, and he kind of going there to make the play. Boom, bounces off the receiver right to him. Like shit like that is like, how does this happen to this guy all the time? Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Coach is like, I don't give a damn. Bring him on, because if that happens here, we'll take it. Because you didn't see him getting beat. You didn't see him getting mossed. You didn't see him losing coverage. You didn't see him losing contain. You didn't see him losing nothing. You didn't see any of that. All you did was see, like, you kept saying the freaking ball get projected toward this guy time and time again. You just got to bring him in. You have to bring him in. You have to just on GP alone. He might not make the team. He might not even make first cuts, but you got to bring him in just because.
Shawn, I'll tell you what else lends to him being around the ball as much as he is. It goes to the first thing I told you about him, and that's his first step. Read and react, and how fast can you get from A to B? I mean, it's light. Now, this cat is lightning quick, and he gets from A to B in a blip. Now, see, I'm going to tell you this too: the players that he's going to have to that he's going to be challenged by to get a spot, it's going to be hell to get him off of cats like what's his name? Only thing, he does stand a chance now because what's his name? Not Jalen Johnson, but the other guy, Blackwell. Blackwell, he's pretty much hurt all season. So, he does, you got that attrition that's going on. And if Blackwell isn't all the way 100% healthy, in the chase to the Lombardi trophy, attrition, is going to be a big factor. And Blackwell, when your best ability is availability. He wasn't available a whole lot last year, but when he's healthy, he's lights out. But bringing a guy like this in is just going to add up the ante for either one of those two guys, which he's going to have hell to try to beat them out. But yeah, man, I just love this pick, man. I apologize for interrupting you guys, but this kid makes me excited just looking at the film, man.
The DB loves the DB. What were the odds? Go ahead.
I'll just say a few things. Number one, this RAS score is perfect. You look at it, you look at PFF, fine and dandy, but those are only tools. They do not show a player's heart. It does not show their mental aptitude. Please, anybody hadn't seen a YouTube clip, because this is one of the few guys that I watch it. Two words that describes him is cerebral, sticky. What the hell more do you want? Man. That's all I got to say.
Can't argue with that for a second, and I'll throw this up from the good old Scottish Bear. Reddy Stewart's instincts are outrageous. No analytics can show that, and that goes right to what Brian was saying.
Bingo.
End of the day, yeah, his instincts are off the chain. There's a couple of these interceptions where he's shadowing a wide receiver in the end zone, and he just sort of, in stride, he just recognizes, look, we're getting to the end of the end zone. If this ball is coming, it's going to be in and around here somewhere. And he just gets his head around enough to pull the ball into his body, right? Like that's instinctual. That is smart. That's a smart football player. These RAS scores do not capture what's going on in a smart football player's head. Well spoken, Brian.
Yeah, and you talked about the football IQ, and Kedz, you nailed it. Like, okay, we're getting to the end of the end zone. That ball's got to be somewhere, all right? And that's the ability to use the end zone as the end line as an extra defender, because
exactly.
You realize, oh snap, we're coming. Something's got to move. Something's got to go. He can't run. He can't keep running straight ahead. All right, and especially if he's going to be outside leverage, because you never want a guy inside leverage on you. And if you're getting close to the sideline, like, okay, well, he's getting to that corner, so I got to look and see when his ball's coming. And that's cerebral. That is paying attention to, first of all, doing your homework, understanding the route concepts, but also just playing football and understanding this guy's going into the corner, the back of the end zone. I don't even have to get there. I could be 2 or 3 feet in front of him, and I could just jump and get it. I could just jump and get it, right? Because there's not going to be a way he's going to go up and straight down. No, there's got to be an arc. There's got to be to the thing, and then he has them covered. This kid, I like his instincts. Hopefully hopefully for him it works out, man. I'm just appalled by how crazy his RAS score.
Is. It is. I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Okay.
This is what happens. This is where you're going. This is where in the scouting room, over you're scouting, you call another coach, like, come here for a second. Come here. What do you think of this kid? Oh man, this. Look at his RAS score. Holy shit. What? Oh man. Is that the same guy? This is the same guy. Are you serious? Yeah. I can guarantee you that happened a couple times, and not just the Bears, but in other people's scouting rooms too. Like, this is the same kid? Yeah, it is.
Shawn, man, you know what? And then we'll put a bow on this conversation about Reddy Stewart. I was watching, me being a corner. I know you kids and them think I get so overzealous about corners, and I do.
I'm just
there's no lie. There's no denying it. You ain't lying. I love my corners, man. That's just my nature. But I was wondering to myself, am I being overzealous when I'm writing all these notes about him, and would everybody else respond to him what they saw on tape the way that I did? So I was eager to see what would happen when you guys got a chance to speak on him, and it's exactly what you would expect, man. This cat is impressive, man, just very, very impressive, and I can't wait to see him in camp, and if that translates to the NFL and him being that ball magnet that he is in college, if that translates to what we're doing and on the field, because he's going to get a fair shake if he's on the team long enough to make it to preseason. We'll get a chance to see what he's made of, man. But
okay, so I just had to think about one thing here, and there's one knock to his game. There's one knock to his game. I didn't see much tackling in any of the footage. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't see very much. So I'll throw that out there. Maybe, again, given this rad score, maybe he's not really a willing tackler. I can't say that he is or he isn't. I'm just saying I didn't see it on tape.
At 174 pounds, the laws of physics ain't on your damn side. And
it's not. It's not.
So,
I want to see what Hoke can do with him.
Yeah. It's gonna be, man. Let's hold up. Let's because we got to get to this last guy, and I saved him. I saved him for last. We will return to Reddy Stewart at some point during off-season coverage. We will get back to here. I promise you that. But the last guy on this list, Shawn, let me tell you something. It took us a while. He's the very last guy that I saw that we signed as a UDFA so far. It could be a guy that I don't know about that's gotten signed since we started the show, but when I checked, he was the last guy. And it took them a while to grab this guy. Why? Because there were a few teams, at least, that were making him offers, and he turned them down to come to Chicago. Reasons being, I don't know. Health.
Take this Reddy Raz score down, please.
What'd you say?
I said take this Reddy Stewart Raz score down.
If you don't mind, Chris, if you can take Reddy's Raz down. But let me talk
is the next guy Stutz?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this guy, Cam Stutz, man, Shawn, I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth here. I was watching the whole entire offensive line snaps. The first video that I saw was against him, and it was them against Texas A&M. Shawn, I'm telling you, I saw a play literally in slow motion. Like it wasn't slow motion on the TV, but it started happening slow motion in my vision. Because I see this cat raise up and pull to the other side on a counter tray. And the cat that he was going to hit, dude, I put a pause on that thing, man, and I went to the medicine cabinet and got me a goodie spouter. Straight up, I was like, oh my Lord, he's about to demolish this cat. And he just destroyed him. I mean, you talk about physical. He's imposing. He's 6'5", 243 pounds. 343 pounds. Absolutely imposing. And he has the demeanor to match his just physical nature, man. This dude is a punisher. A punisher. And, before I carry on into all the notes that I got on him, Shawn, I just wanted to point that out. I would not want to be whoever. I mean this 100% of whoever this dude is going, when he's pulling and he's going to the other side to take somebody out, there's 100% guarantee you are physically, laws of physics are not going to be on your side. Best thing you can do is haul ass run in the other direction and get yelled at that next day when they look at the film. Do not try to get in front of this cat. He's going to annihilate you, man. But Lord, oh Lord, I think they got a steal here. I don't care what anybody says. I think this cat's got a chance here. What do you think, Shawn?
I was trying to find some tape on him. And I couldn't find his interviews with him and things like that. But from the 3 or 4 people that I talked to today, the one thing about him is his nastiness. Oh. This dude is freaking nasty. And if you think about, you give that little chuckle, Kedz, because that's the type of dude we want blocking in front of us. That's the type of dude I want blocking in front of me. That's the kind of dude. Those are the kinds of dudes you want blocking in front of our quarterback. Hell yeah, get that nasty little, that snarky little laugh, because you know why? Because he'll probably hit you in the throat. He'll probably hit you in the ribs or something real quick. Just a quick boop, just to slow you down if he has to. He's nasty, resourceful. He's the type. He's like, I said it on my show earlier. Ryan Poles being a former offensive lineman. Okay. He brought in he didn't bring it. He had Tevin Jenkins. Okay. Tevin Jenkins is the kind of guy that you have to tell him, hey, listen, you don't have to put him in the third row. The sideline will suffice. All right. Darnell Wright is another dude of that same ilk. Now you're going to get this guy. And everyone has said that talk, because I said I didn't see film on him. Everyone said this dude's nasty. This dude's freaking nasty. This dude that wants to bury you in the ground. Every single one. That was a common theme. So, yeah, if he's a UDFA, okay, no problem. That doesn't mean that he can't be used. That doesn't mean that, when you have an attitude like this guy has, you might actually just find a spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Herb and I were talking about him earlier. He's like, hey, I like Jatari Carter. I'm like, I do too. I'm like, but hey, if I know what this dude's trying to pancake me on a run block, I'm 3rd and 1. We ain't doing no more damn tush pushes. We ain't doing no damn screens, quick screens. We're running right behind this dude. Or my favorite, Nomad. He reports as eligible. You put him in motion, and he wham blocks a 3-tech. He kicks out a defensive end. He traps a 1-tech. Woo!
Hey,
with his nasty demeanor.
You're going crazy.
That calls somebody getting the damn toe tag if he ain't looking.
Oh, you're damn right. Because he played the nastiness with which he plays, and this is what everyone has told me. Like, oh my god, dude, I've been trying to find film on him. I couldn't get any. If you got something, send me a link, dude. Because from what I've heard from every single person, this dude is literally, and he looks like Tevin. Looks like he'd be Tevin's cousin or something.
So all right, I gotta stop you, man. You're taking all my good stuff, Shawn, and killing it. I was like, he's gotta be. If Tevin Jenkins' daddy has like a love child, you got like a secret family somewhere. This is the son of the secret family. Honest to God. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. Tevin Jenkins, 6'5" and 7/8. This kid's just about 6'5" and change too. Weight 317. Tevin Jenkins. Weight 319. Arm length.
No, that guy's 343, Shawn. I mean, kid, this guy's 343. Legit.
343.
Legitimately.
Okay. With 33-inch arms for Tevin Jenkins, 32 and a half. Like, they are very similarly built, styled. I watched those, the same interviews I assume Shawn watched. He's a smart kid. He seems to have a bit of a,
Kedz, can I
a little bit of a guy, right? Like a little bit of a nasty guy.
Let me pause you for just 1 second. Barelissimo, I'm begging you. If you can do a breakdown and bring it and pull some tape over here, man, I think people would really enjoy seeing some Cam Stutz tape, man. Boy, oh boy, is it fun to watch. But I digress. That was just me trying to holler at Barelissimo.
So I found some of his high school tape. And the high school tape is very interesting, guys, right? So like tight end, he can do that. Defensive end, he can do that. Right? Then you get him on the offensive line where they transition him a little bit later in high school, and he's just eating these kids alive. Just throwing them around. And it's super funny to watch. I watched some of his Auburn practice film, and the coach kept telling him, look, man, like, you don't have to throw him on the ground, man. You don't have to throw him. And he keeps just throwing the defensive end who's trying to get Patton. They're just doing practice reps. And this kid's just flying all over the ground. And I'm like, wow, like that's just who he is. He's gonna get you. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens with him. He would be a fantastic addition to this team. And did I mention he was the captain of the Auburn offense?
Yes, he
right.
is.
He's a leader. I really like this kid as a camp body by far, but I hope maybe they sneak him onto that offensive line permanently moving forward. I think it'd be a great place to have a kid like this.
What say you, Brian?
Well, everybody took all the good things.
Sorry, Brian. We ate all the meat off the bone on this.
Man, that gristle's good too. I eat it.
Yeah, I guess I'll go for that burnt hamburger helper.
Lasagna.
The guy plays like he's pissed off at somebody. So you got to love that. And two, what Kedz just said, an offensive guard being voted team captain What does that say about his leadership, his character, and the respect he got from his teammates? So you got a big angry bear that is respected by his teammates. I think the young man could go far.
So here's what I would say. Chris, you can take it down now if you want. Here's what I would say. The last thing I would say about Cam Stutz. There's a reason why it took us a while to get him signed, man. I'm pretty sure by looking at his tape, he was probably one of their priority guys to sign right out of the draft. I'm pretty sure he was, just looking at the tape. And it took them a while to get their hands on him because he had other offers. I know for a fact that Baltimore was one of the teams. But I'm sure he looked at those rosters and said, you know, Baltimore has always been a thick, you know, they draft offensive line and defensive line so well, they have depth all the time. So when am I going to get that?
I believe they paid him $200,000.
Who, the Bears?
Yes, sir.
And he was worth it, you know. So that's I don't know that your average UDFA sees $200,000 on a bonus. Do you, Shawn?
No, it's
I heard like 5 to 15,000 is 20,000 is more like the norm, you know.
Yeah, I'd have to double check, but that does sound like a lot. $200,000 for the UDFA.
So what does that tell you? The fact that they doled out him $200,000 to bring him here. What does that tell you, Shawn?
It tells you they want him. Like, all right, it's you know they up the ante. Like, all right, we really want you here. All right, just you know you're only scheduled to get X amount, and we're gonna give you this amount because we want you here. And you play well on a spot, you know, there's money somewhere else. But yeah, when you overpay for someone, that's basically overpaying. Is what you're doing. You overpay for something that you want. You don't have a problem paying a premium, and they didn't.
You gotta understand how these things kind of work. And so if he's getting offered $200,000 by the Bears and probably being offered something similar, they get to talking with agents and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like the Bears wouldn't know what the Patriots and what the Ravens may be offering this guy. They get to find that out. They get to talk to the agents. Hey, man, you gotta match the Patriots. They just offered him 185, 190, man. Can you do better than that? And plus, he would rather go to you guys because he feels like he's got a better chance to make this team and get into the lineup. And I think that's probably, if I had to guess, exactly how it played out. It took some time, negotiations with agents and all that stuff to play out and getting the dollar amount right. But the fact that they gave him $200,000 as a signing bonus tells me they intend on keeping this kid. He's got to really prove them wrong about that, in my opinion, Shawn and Kedz and Brian. He's got to prove them wrong. I think he finds his way onto this roster. I don't care what anybody says.
You know what? I said that earlier on my show, bro. I did. And here's why. And you can't put him on a practice squad. You can't.
No.
There's no way, because someone's going to snatch his ass up in a heartbeat. You get this type of nastiness, you get this type of freaking attitude on an offensive lineman, someone's going to take him in a heartbeat, and they'll hide him on the 53-man roster. And again, Shane Waldron, it's 3rd and 1. All right, you go 22 personnel, and you check this son of a gun in, and you put him in motion to the strong side. Come on, man. Come on, man.
It's like I said, man, you know, the laws of physics don't really favor the person he's going after, man. This dude is a stud, and I would encourage you guys. When I say encourage, I mean strongly recommend. This is how you would want to Google search, Shawn. I saw that you couldn't find as much as you were looking.
No, I'm watching them now.
Oh, you are? Okay, so you guys could go to, I think I've seen that game. You could go to your YouTube search, and this is what you put in. You put in Auburn offensive line 2020.
Auburn O-line. Yeah, that's what I did.
Make sure you put the 2023 in, and you put the year in so you can see, you know, you might want to see some 2022, 2021 stuff. But whatever you want to see, that's how you do it. You put in Auburn offensive line 2023, and it'll start showing you condensed versions of the game of all their offensive line snaps, and it's real. It makes breaking down tape a whole lot easier. Go ahead, Shawn.
Just easier. He's a right guard, number 62.
Yeah,
right guard, number 62.
Shawn skipped out on the show, and now he's doing
Man,
scouting.
I'm telling you, I'm like, oh.
He's tough, ain't he, man?
I like him.
So you put him and Wright together?
Or you can move him to the left.
Lord, just think about that, what he just said.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
that's Tevin Jr. That's Tevin's younger brother. I'm telling you.
Man.
Tevin's dad be loving him some black girls.
Hey, I'm telling every one of you, No Maniacs, and everybody that's within the sound of my voice, telling you the Bears grabbed some steals in the UDFA class. Not probably most of them won't make this team, but there are maybe 2 to 3 of these guys that I think have a really strong. I mean, when I say strong, a pretty strong chance of making this team. He's one of them for sure. He's probably up there around the top between Jamry Chroma, Reddy Stewart. It's Cam Stutz is next. Any one of those 3 guys can make the roster, if not all 3. But man, that
Randolph.
was and Randolph, yeah, of course. So I put 4 on the board right now. You are correct, Brian. I forgot. Don't leave that out. So that's what I enjoy doing this show, man. Doing the UDFAs, they don't get enough love because they didn't get drafted, and most people want to write them off or poo-poo them because they weren't drafted. And there's not always the most. It's not always the most obvious reason why they weren't drafted. You got to remember, it's only 250 something people that can get drafted. So 250 something people out of thousands of guys, you can't tell me with a straight face and look me in my face and tell me that there's only 250 something good college football players in the country. Nope.
Oh, your avatar.
Can't tell me on that. What's that?
Hell no.
I said, I'll look you right straight in your avatar, one or the other.
Right. Hey, the avatar sees you. There's no that much. Yeah,
Big
man.
brother.
I just really feel good about the UDFA class this year. And we're not done with them, man. We're going to bring up a few more of those guys as we move forward, man. Who knows? Maybe it's Nomad at night. Maybe it's next week on Nomad Live. We don't know, man. We'll stick them in there. But we try to kind of balance the shows, talk about different things that people are talking about. And shout out to Cornelia Squalls, who kind of put it over the top for me and said, you know what, let's do a UDFA show. I heard too many questions about those guys. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. But let's give some pleasantries out before we get ready to get out of here, Shawn.
Sports owners and Nomaniacs unite. Guys, thanks for the love and support this weekend. Make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube channel. All right, make sure just like you're following the Nomad Network YouTube channel. We're trying to push subscribe. Subs have slowed down a little bit. Let's try to kick those back up as we can. Guys, it's a beautiful weekend. Enjoy it. Get out there. Spend time with your family, your loved one. If you're in the Chicagoland area, rooftops are going to be open. Patios are going to be open. Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. Get out there, enjoy it. Drink some tequila. Everybody's Mexican on Cinco de Mayo. So get out there, enjoy it. And we will be back on Monday. More Bears talk. It's Kedz in the building.
Tequila. Sorry, had to do it. No Maniacs killing the chat today. Cornelius, I will take a closer look at Theo Benedict. I meant to do it actually earlier this week. I haven't done it, just given the specific UDFAs we were looking at. But I'll take a closer look. I'm, like I was saying about Chase earlier on, a lot of these Canadian kids have a long way to go to get to the NFL, so it generally shows. So for him to actually get the opportunity to be recognized as a part of the draft says a lot about his journey. I want to actually see a little bit more. But in any event, I'll touch on that next week. There's a couple of things we didn't touch on today. One being this year, little $2 we will accept in whole heart. Thank you, FFG Style, and much love to Chris, the dude, Brian, for producing. Brian, big love to you. Chris, big love to you. Doodle, big love to you. Straight from FFG Style and straight from me here.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Shout out, FFG. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, just wanted to touch on that. Give some shout outs to some of the heads out there in the grass. Thanks for representing with us. Evie Bear Down Davis, Leo Factor, Mr. Mayhem, Jojo Loco 5150, She Blank, Mr. Fact, MC Fact or Mick Fact. You'll have to straighten me out on that one later on. We got Jose Sanchez from Puerto Rico.
Oh!
Well done. Well, even Brian was in the mix. That was beautiful. Squeegee's in the building with us. Jailbreak's out there. Joseph Archer. Who else we got that I didn't show love to earlier on? Mike Davidson. J2K's in the building. What's up, J2K? Thanks for rocking with us. Berlissimo, thanks for rocking with us. That's about it. It's Friday, y'all. Do what you do. Enjoy what you do. Brian, on to you. Bear down.
Well, number one, thank you, FFG, for the donation. Just another step closer getting that new computer so that I can halfway do all right for the show. As always, guys, it's great to see the Nomaniacs, the sports zoners. Try to say that with false teeth. Always have great time.
Perfect time for the prospect to drop, Chris. You're slipping. I'm sorry. Anyways, sorry, Brian.
A shout out to Keith and Nick. I hope they're having a blessed day. You guys have a safe, wonderful, blessed weekend. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo. Don't get too inebriated because I want to see you guys Monday.
No, we're day drinking,
big
bro.
love.
Damn,
Day
all
Big
that.
love to the bishop.
12 to 6. Day drinking on Sunday. 12 to 6.
That's right.
Okay.
Do all that plus some. But I'm gonna be real short today, man, because I should be. And all I got to say to you guys is I love each and every last one of you, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Period. And with that being said, we're gonna get out of here with these famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Peace, y'all. Claws out.